and welcome to another exciting episode of 31 Days of Indie Horror. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I have an awesome guest with me today, Dale Niehaus. How are you doing, Dale?
I'm doing good. Busy day of deliveries, and I'm having myself a drink hanging out with your cool ass.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Dude. Dale has never been on any of my podcasts before. And it's funny because this will be the one you'll probably be on another one earlier, but this is actually going out in October.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, this is part of 31 days of October. So, and we're
Well,
both
this will,
oh my god, we're both wearing Camp Crystal Lake shirts.
yeah.
Nice.
My
That
friend Lisa got this one for me for my birthday this year, actually.
So are you a camper and I'm a lifeguard? Is
I
that
think
it?
that's the case. So, yeah, you're apparently going to save me if I drown, which I feel sorry.
Well, no, I won't.
You won't.
Remember, that's what happened with Jason.
Oh, that's right. Yes, yes. So, no, you won't. You're going to let me drown and be careless, and you're probably going to be having unprotected sex, whatever, with, while can't, anyway. Yeah.
I don't know. Was it unprotected or not? Who knows? I mean,
Well, I don't know. I mean, that was what in the 50s, so probably.
probably, yeah. I always love wearing these shirts around like the people who play Jason.
Oh,
These are
yeah.
always fun.
Did they ever say anything about it?
I mean, they notice it and stuff. Like I remember doing it with the guy who played the first Jason, Ari Lehman.
Yeah.
I had his arm around me and he was like pointing at my shirt.
Oh,
like he was gonna
awesome.
kill me. And stuff. So I mean, I've had this shirt for a long ass time. I don't change my wardrobe much.
No.
Why?
Exactly.
When it still fits. By the way, so people know, my sister's dog is visiting. He is sleeping on my bed right there. And reason I bring that up is he may want to get down. He stinks to high heaven, so I wish he would go. But you do not want to be over here, Dale.
I'll take your word for it. Believe me, I'll take your word for it.
By the way, Lydia says hi.
Oh, hey, Lydia. How you doing, sweetheart?
Okay, so we are going to go into this movie, Where. I guess that's how you'll pronounce it. Where? I don't know.
Where I'm guessing because of the theme of the movie, I'm thinking where was probably how it was pronounced. I'm guessing.
That's how I'm guessing too. So they tried to do something different with the werewolf subgenre. And by the way, werewolves are like my favorite. I like them more than, well, I mean, I like vampires a lot too, but I like werewolves more. So it goes like werewolves, vampires, slashers. Those are and then ghosts 4, and then demons are 5. So those are my top 5. But the werewolf subgenre, I don't know, sometimes can be really cool because when they do it, generally speaking, they try to they have a budget, somewhat of a budget, because they have to afford the prosthetics or the makeup or the body hair. This werewolf was a little bit more like, I think it was supposed to be more realistic of what like a human wolf would be like,
Yeah.
sort of like, I think, because they even went with that route. And by the way, people should know this if you've been watching. Spoilers ahead,
Yes.
So we can't not talk about the movie without spoiling it. And
I was actually about to say that. Yeah, if we're going to talk about the film, there's going to be stuff in there that people haven't seen it. It's going to spoil it. So just if you haven't seen Where and you want to watch it first before you watch this podcast, I definitely highly suggest watching it first if you don't want to be spoiled. If you don't mind spoiler alerts, well then keep listening and watch it later.
Yep. Yeah, because it's actually free on Tubi. So and the director of it is also the director of one of my favorite early 2000 horror films, which is Stay Alive, which I think that's Stay Alive, because there's that Staying Alive movie that's a little bit different. I think that's John Travolta. So Stay Alive, which is is a great, like, basically a video game movie. I don't know if you've ever seen that or not, but I really enjoyed it. And you do?
I don't know if I've seen Stay Alive. I've heard of it, but I've heard you talk about it. It's actually, is that also on Tubi?
It might be. I don't know. That's a good
Yeah.
question. I'm gonna look that up real quick.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know
Curious.
because I do really enjoy. I think it might be, in fact.
Yeah, you got me curious too.
Yeah.
'Cause
Nope.
it's
It
not on
doesn't look
Tubi.
like it. It doesn't look like it.
That's
Stay
okay.
Out, Stay Alive. That's a completely different movie.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit different.
So, but it's probably available somewhere streaming. But anyway, the point
Yeah.
is, they made it. The director made that movie, and I really enjoyed it. So I was kind of expecting this to be sort of in that same vein, and it's still considered like I bet they had like a couple million for this movie. So I still consider this an indie film because
Yeah.
I don't really think it got like it wasn't a studio that put it out. I don't recognize any studio name in it and everything.
No, I didn't either. I think it was indie. I think it was in the indie actual for the market itself.
Yeah. So, but they had AJ Cook in it, which I fell in love with her in a little movie called Out Cold. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Oh, I've seen Out
Um,
Cold. Yes, yes. I love that movie.
I believe was she also in Extreme Days. There's another movie that I watched
um,
back in the day. It was another snowboarding movie. No, I don't think. No, that's another AJ, but it's a male. No, Cassidy Ray did that one. But no, she did the snowboarding movie, and then she was also in Criminal Minds. That's what like most people know her from.
oh, yes, that's right. She was.
Yeah, which she was, she was great. I feel like she did this movie probably because she wanted to get away from doing Criminal Minds for a little bit. And it was like between, times or whatever, I'm sure that
Oh,
she got
yeah.
to shoot it and do something where she played the lawyer of the main guy. And I'm going to butcher people's names. So I'm going to have to look them up on IMDb. Um, the main guy played by Brian Scott O'Connor played a character named Talon Gwynnick, I guess is how you
Hmm.
say it. And he is the one they apprehend that they believe is the murderer of this family, and I wrote some notes, and the first thing I wrote in it was it starts with it starts with a kid being killed and a dog being killed, which
Hmm.
the dog being killed is a no-no in my book, and if anybody knows me knows I'm a like I do not like that. um but the kid being killed was very surprising.
Yeah, that was me
Usually,
too.
usually you don't do that, and even in
It,
indie films.
yeah, which I honestly think, and when I don't know if maybe their thing along that lines was to make it seem even more real, more dramatic, just because of whole family kids. Because anytime a kid's injured, I mean, it affects everybody. Which I don't personally agree in a film setting of killing kids. I don't like it myself, or animals, dogs especially, like you.
Right.
Um, but in their case, they were trying to make it look like a grisly murder to where an actual family got killed, father and a child,
Mhm.
and a dog. So maybe that was their whole effect, just to really create the seed of this horrible thing that happened, and this gentleman they think that actually did the crime.
Yeah, and then there's the what is it, there's Sebastian Roche. I'm probably see I'm gonna butcher people's names, by the way.
Yeah.
Sebastian Roche, who I always know him, and it might be Roche, by the way, but I think it's Roche with the accent. He was on he was one of my favorite characters in Supernatural. He played this character named Balthazar, and I always liked him. And I was
Oh yeah, he did. Yes, that's right. I thought I recognized him from somewhere, and I'm actually watching Supernatural, and yes, that was Balthazar. That's right.
yeah, it was Balthazar, and he was. I mean, he was
Yeah.
so it was different of a character,
Oh
right?
yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
I mean, he got to have a lot of fun with it, and I absolutely like adored him in it. You know,
Yeah.
um,
He did a great job.
Yeah, such an asshole. I loved it.
Yeah, he did
Um,
play good.
well, it's sort of like, okay, so there was a couple things. Now, I want to get your opinion on this.
Sure.
Uh, you're an actor, but I'm sure like you, when you look at these things, you sometimes go, I mean, I don't know how you thought when you were watching it, so I wasn't with you when you watched it, but there was that scene where they were inside the police office, or his office, right? And he gets the call that there's somebody over at, his, I guess his, the cabin that his mom's at or whatever, and there's another attack, and it can't be the other guy, right? It can't be the guy that they actually have. So they,
Right.
why did the lawyer go with them? Like, that's why was she there? Why was her
Yeah.
team there? It pissed me off because I'm like, I like in real life, if they were like, because he was telling them from the very beginning, like, kind of back off, leave it alone, right? And then he goes, oh well, there's this thing, blah blah blah, and then they go, oh, we're coming with you. In real life, that person would have been like, no, we can't risk you guys being killed. Even if we don't
No,
like you, we
no.
can't risk you guys being killed. And on top of that, you generally would tell them to stay in the car or stay away from the situation. But they like let them kind of like walk around without any weapons, in the woods with them. It made that to me was like the worst scene in the whole movie. Because it didn't,
Yeah.
and I get it. It was supposed to kind of show like, oh, okay, there could have been something else that was killing people, or whatever,
Right.
and maybe not necessarily the werewolf,
Hmm.
it was a big bear, which once again, another animal that got killed. Kind of felt bad. Felt bad for the bear. I mean, he's in his woods, and I mean, he was coming after them, but like seriously, they could have just been like, "Go away, bear," or had tranquilizers or something, Um,
Yeah, that would be interesting. Although if they would have said shoe bear and he would have actually ran off, that probably wouldn't have looked right.
that would have been the
But
funniest. That would have been the funniest scene in the whole movie.
oh
Would
yeah,
have made up for the fact that they should not have been there to begin with. If they're like, "Go away, bear," and the bear's like, "Okay."
yeah, that didn't make a lot of sense. You're right, because in real life, they aren't going to let if there's a situation, a dangerous situation, they're not going to let lawyers even go. Because that's just another casualty, another possible endangerment that's putting them in jeopardy. Yeah, most of the time, if there's a police situation, they're not going to let lawyers just walk around with them.
Right,
And
for no reason other than I don't even know. There was no reason for them to be there.
no, there
That was
really
the
wasn't.
that was the thing. That was the only problem with the movie that I had. Which that's not actually not that bad of a thing because like, I mean, I can overlook that and say, it's a pretty fun movie. But
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I dug I dug the movie, but I didn't like all that shit. So
yeah.
I was kind of
I
mad.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and I know the whole thing was is she knew the guy that was her client she was trying to protect. But yeah, I don't agree with that part right there. Just because he was telling them, no, no, you guys stay back, and then all of a sudden they were walking around with him. Yeah, that could have been done a little different. But besides that, yeah, I think overall it was a decent movie. It was I like because the take they did on lycanthropy and on werewolfism, they completely did it out of the box because, like you said, most werewolf films, you have the transformation into pretty much wolf form that's walking on two legs. And in this one, it was just more of a man. I almost kind of thought of it as possessed, extreme possessed by lycanthropy, be it affected. But it was kind of cool the take they did take on the werewolf this time. It was something you don't normally see. Um,
You know what he kind of reminded me of when you saw the werewolf? Kind of
what?
reminded me of Wolverine,
Yeah,
It's like,
actually, kind of. Yeah,
like when he flew at one point and he landed on his like, his stance that he had and everything. I was like, whoa, that's a Wolverine move right there. Like he just needs the claws, the
Oh yeah.
adamantine claws. But yeah, which they didn't really. I mean, that was the thing. He what he didn't look like a your typical werewolf, which is fine. It kind of works for a movie called where
Yeah.
like only half of the name is done, because like almost feels like half of everything is like it wasn't half-assed, but it was sort of like everything was sort of half, on purpose,
Yeah.
um and they tried to make it where no pun intended.
That was good. That was good. That was
Yeah. uh God, I can't say it without saying where.
good.
The scene where God damn it.
The scene where whereabouts? Where are you? Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Like, I don't know where I am. I'm apparently I'm just keep saying where the whole time. And
That's
oh
okay.
Lord. I don't know how many jokes they had on this set.
Oh, I guarantee they had a lot, probably.
Probably. I wish they had some outtakes on it.
Oh, I know. I wish there would have been some. That would have been so cool to see if they did.
I thought they were gonna do something extra too, like at the end, like a one of those post credit scenes or something. And
Yeah.
so I kind of waited to the I always do that now, just in case, you
Oh, I
never
know.
know.
I
Marvel
always check
screwed
that
us
out.
all
Like
up.
it, with theaters open up back now, when I do go to a movie, I will stay for the end of it just see if they have any post credit stuff because a lot of times they will. But yeah, it's kind of that would I wish they would have had that, because like how they ended that up at the end, they could have done a little something post credits in that to kind of. But I mean, I guess I don't know. That would have been cool if they would have though. They really
Yeah.
would have.
Well, they had that scene at the end where they mentioned it's a werewolf, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. There's so much stuff with how it showed it was a werewolf, right? Like it had the scene where the they had the medical stuff going on for it, and they had like
Mm-hmm.
tests to see if the guy, and then he freaked out in it and broke free,
Yeah.
like, which was pretty cool. And that was a great scene, but and it's set up for like a for the fact that like lycanthropy is sort of, and that is a real thing, by the way. I looked it up, and it is a real, like, just like there is an actual like disease that sort of is like vampirism, you know and everything. So there are like diseases that like either make too much hair grow, or and fuck up your teeth or something, um but yeah, this, and the only other thing I got a little annoyed by is it's supposed to be France, and
Yeah.
it was filmed in Romania. And I'm like thinking, it's a werewolf movie. It should have been Romania. They should have just called it Romania. Like, why did they have to set it in France? Like, I didn't get any of that. Like, it should have all been Romania, because there's even one point where the mother said she was from Romania, and I'm like thinking, why did they even leave like it like that? Like, they should have just changed the script to make it Romania, because it was
Yeah.
Romania anyway.
Because I know she said in there that her and her family came from Romania when she was a little girl. Is that right? Is that what
Yeah,
she
that's
said
why
in there?
she's still at her like accent or something, which, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I was like, well, that makes no sense, but they had to explain why she who they probably cast in Romania was
Yeah.
a Romanian, speaking woman, or whatever, like a uh and then her like her son was French, or whatever. And so it was just like, just why didn't they just make it Romania? I don't know. Um
Who
only
knows? Who knows why they made it France? I have no idea why they chose that to be the place where it ended up taking place.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously they probably couldn't shoot it in France. It's like France is
Yeah.
harder probably to get films shot there, or whatever. It's probably easier to shoot in Romania.
Probably.
But I don't understand if you're already gonna be there and you know this, just change the script to fit your location. I that annoys me. So like even worse when you see movies that obviously don't take place. They take place in like Canada, you know, but like they're supposed to be like Alaska, you know.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
just change it to Canada. Like no, you know, like I don't know. Some things uh, I don't. It wasn't like this was like a big legend in France, you know, or something, you know, like
Right. Yeah, I know. It's weird. Yeah, because now I know, like for instance, like films like Lord of the Rings, like obviously there's no real place in Middle Earth, but they shot in New Zealand, which is the closest thing they resemble, which that worked. But yeah, when it comes to a lot of films to where they're saying, yeah, we're filming in Alaska, or it takes place in Alaska, but in reality, they're actually filming in Canada. Yeah, unless there was a specific reason, why not just change the story to where they're in Canada? Yeah, there's a lot of times which that makes no sense, and
mhm,
I agree with you on that. I don't know why sometimes they do that, and it's just weird. I don't
it's
know.
annoying. But so the two guys that were with her on her team,
Yes.
um, so it's really funny. I was doing some research, and I saw that in the trivia that the guy who played um I guess his name was Eric, right? And his real name is Vic Sahay or whatever. He's most known for being in the TV show Chuck, you know.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so he had a he only agreed to do it because he thought his character was really, you know, was really good or something like that. Or what was the exact line as he said um Vic Sahay initially debated whether or not to take the role of Eric Sarin due to a busy schedule, but ultimately decided to join because the character in the movie's world were just too interesting to walk away from. Now, maybe the world, I can get that, but his character was probably the worst, honestly. Like
Yeah.
I kind of felt his character be sort of bland. It wasn't his I don't think it was his fault. I think it's the way they wrote him. But I thought the other character, the one that turns into a wolf, you know, and everything at the end, Simon Quarterman, who played Gavin, did a
Yep.
phenomenal job.
He
And
did.
um and I thought that, you know, Vic did a great job playing Eric. Like there, you know what I mean?
Oh well,
He
yeah.
did
I
as
mean,
great of a job.
he did the best he could with the way his character was wrote. I mean, there's
Yeah.
only so much you can do as an actor if your character's written a certain way, and depending on the director or the writer, he may have not had much leeway with how he could play it. So I mean,
Well, I mean, it's
he,
just yeah, there wasn't much for him,
no, there wasn't really. I agree.
but but the world, I guess, I could see that. The only thing I did like is that his character got like that jaw like ripped off and stuff. But
Yes.
I was so disappointed because I so the way that, you know, when he said like his character and the world was just too interesting to walk away from, I was like, oh man, he's got to be like the leader of the werewolves or something, you know, like that's what they're setting up for. And then he gets killed, and I'm like, okay, is he gonna come back? Like, was that just, you know, right? Nothing happens to him, doesn't come back. He's not, you know, whatever. And I was just like, you know, like I don't think it was that interesting, you know, of a character. Like I said, I like Gavin, because he shaved his head off and then his hair
Oh,
off, and then he
did you read the goof part of that in IMDb?
no, I
Did you
didn't.
read? It says when Gavin is shaving himself with his hair, the last thing he shaves is his left eyebrow. But in the next cut to scene, when he starts looking in the mirror, the eyebrow is unshaven, and the same for when he starts screaming into the mirror in the next shot. So see,
Continuity.
yep, that's the
Where's
problem.
Lydia? Where's Lydia when we need her?
Exactly,
Continuity.
exactly. Yep. So let's see. After the initial interview between the accused, his solicitor, we then cut to the scene in the car. the guy who says his glasses were knocked off must have been mistaken, as they never got so much as moved during the scuffle.
Yeah.
So
Well,
there's
that's
two, that was two of them, two goofs that were put in there. So yeah, continuity issues. You know,
continuity issues. Or maybe like some of that seems like a script issue of like,
it
you
could be.
know, like somebody said something and then, but that's also continuity, I guess. It's like, somebody did not see that and go, oh wait, you needed a little bit of a scuffle, or whatever, like needed
Right.
more. Um,
Which, which it helps when you got, like when somebody's actually caching that stuff, when they're going over the scene or they're going over the footage and they're like, wait a minute, that wasn't there before, or that was there, or this and that. So it was probably honestly, it's one of those things to where when they filmed it, it's something that they just did not catch or didn't even think about until after the fact. And so it happens a lot of times, even in the bigger stuff, you see that happening. But
yeah. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of scary to think that there are people that like catch that stuff because when you're watching like a regular movie, there are people out there that will be like, oh no, that was a mess up right there. But and that hopefully it's just too small of a mess up. Like, I didn't notice either one of those things because I wasn't paying that hard attention to those
I,
details.
I wasn't either. And to be honest, even if there's an issue in a film, I don't really try to catch that or pay attention to it because I'm enjoying the film and I can't stand when, yes, there's continuity issue or there's something in a film that's noticeable and somebody wants to make a big deal about it. And it's like, look, to the average person, especially me that doesn't do acting or filmmaking for a living, they don't always think about that stuff and they're just enjoying the film. So if I make a big deal about it, it's just, I don't know. I think some people make too big of a deal out of stuff sometimes. Just my opinion.
I know, I get it. I totally get that. Um, so overall, I think this movie was sort of fun. It was not like I didn't take it completely 100% seriously, like I think it was just sort of, a fun little film. It's free on Tubi. If you're in the mood for a werewolf movie that sort of does something stuff differently, I AJ Cook was wonderful in it.
She did. She did great. She really
Yeah,
did.
I really loved her in it. I love the guys. I mean, even if the guy was not that interesting of a character, the movie itself was sort of interesting,
Oh yeah.
and stuff that was going on. The world that they kind of created, where the werewolves kind of. I mean, I would have loved to have explored that a little bit more. Um, it would have been more. It would have been more fun to see sort of more the world of like these what is it? These werewolves existing. Are there
Right.
more werewolves that we don't know about?
Right. Like, because I know, for instance, like his dad was killed in a car crash. But yeah, they didn't go any more details, like if there was anybody else, like any more family males, and they really didn't. I almost wish they would have kind of did a little bit more something about his dad. Just kind
Yeah,
of wait because they briefly brought that up,
and they actually showed
and
like some of his dad or something, or whatever, like a little. I think it was like a little clip, like or whatever, because his dad's
yeah,
credited in the movie as being in it and everything. The character, the dad character. So it would have been nice to see a little bit more from that,
I know, right? Yeah, that would have been nice.
but I guess they didn't really have that long of a time, and plus it was independent, so they can, maybe they were hoping that it would catch on and become like a franchise or something. Sadly, I don't see that ever happening. And I think that's because of I think it's because they took like missed opportunities, to kind of expand on
Yeah,
it and make things a little bit more interesting. Because at the end, it sets up for like sequel, like
and that's kind of what I was seeing with that is how it ended with him talking about it and stuff, and the continuation of the murders of different murders, various things. I kind of was thinking that it left it open for a possibility of something that could happen. Um, and so it would have been nice if they would have done another one. But I'm, obviously indie films and the indie market, a lot of times there's stuff that happens that never continues on. It's a shame. But yeah, they could have easily have done another one easily.
Stay Alive could have had a sequel. I think they did another movie called the was it Devil Inside Us? I want to say it was. They also did that. The Devil Inside, I think. Yeah. So the Devil Inside, but that never got a sequel. Like none of William Brent Bell, who's the director, none of his films have gotten sequels, and so actually one of them has. I take that back. One of them has, and that's The Boy. He directed The Boy.
Oh,
Yeah. So that one got Brahms, The Boy too, which he also directed. And just recently, which by the time this comes out, it'll be out of the theaters. But right now, Dale, if you want to run to the theater,
yeah.
if you if you can go to the theaters right now, Separation is there, and he directed that one.
Separation. That's who's in that one? Who's in that one?
This is Madeline Brewer, Rupert Friend, Brian Cox, Mamie Groomer. I don't know any of these people. The Simon Quarterman, from that acted. I guess he acts in every one of William Britt Bell's movies because he was in. I think was he in Stay Alive as well. I don't think so. Maybe he wasn't. But he was in The Devil Inside, Where, and Separation. So
Yeah. The young girl finds solace in her artist father, and the ghost of her dead mother. Yeah, I heard about this one.
yeah,
I did hear about this one. This actually looks like it'd be really interesting. Actually,
there you go.
wow, I may have to check that out then. That actually,
It's in the theater, everybody. Well, it was in the theaters. It's probably by the time this comes out, since this is
it'll be.
May. By the time it might be on DVD or on demand.
Yep. So by the time this comes out, you'll have to check it out wherever platform it's on.
Whatever platform it's on, because it should be on everything by then.
Oh yeah,
Most like, yeah. See, that's what I like about like horror films these days. Try to come out like around May, because then by October, they'll be out on DVD and stuff. So,
oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
everything. So people can watch them on the little screens instead of the big screens. But I guess that's about it. I mean, is there anything that you wanted to touch upon that you feel like we didn't mention?
I mean, we pretty much touched up on the basis of it. There's a lot of it's a mix of filming of. I did like how they portrayed it to a mix of the film, the fiction part, but then they also portrayed like actual like trying to make it look like it was actual like footage on TV, like of an actual like live like incident with police, like emergency with all this. They actually try to make it look like it was like on scene reporting, like you see with a lot of the things on TV where you have like a crime or something happening. They're actually like from up above and even like down below. They just made it almost kind of look like it was an actual like a live news report thing, which was kind of cool that they incorporated that.
I think that's like a trademark of his. So if I'm correct, he did do that with The Devil Inside, and he also did that with Stay Alive a little bit. Not so much with Stay Alive, but like a little bit. And I think that sort of became a thing, like a running. And I could be wrong, but that's what I sort of remember from William Brent Bell. I mean, I really like this director. Like I really find every movie that he does gets better and better, in a way. Like, though I will say Stay Alive is my favorite, still, just because it was the first, you always remember your first. And I remembered my first there, for William Britt Bell movies. And plus I have a thing for movies that, have, what is it? like video game movies,
Oh
movies
yeah.
that not based on video game movies, but movies like where you're set inside the video game or whatever. And there's a movie called Gamebox 1.0, and there's a game called what's the movie also? There's a bunch of them. I think
Mhm.
Spy Kids even did it. And
Yeah, they
Game
did.
Over. So I mean, I like that kind of stuff. It's fun because I wish I could go inside a video game. Maybe one day that'll be a possible. That
It
it
could
won't
be.
be virtual reality. You'll be able to actually jump into your television and could you imagine if you could do that with the movie?
Oh
Like
wow.
that you could be there with Jason,
Oh, or Freddy.
or Freddy. That would be fun. I don't know.
That would be interesting. That's for sure.
Well, especially if you knew you couldn't get killed in it, like for
Right.
real, you would just get kicked out of the game, But like, if you could actually get killed being a horror film, you probably wouldn't want to do it. You wouldn't want to take the chance.
No, probably not. It'd be like that same what was that? There was a movie one time. No, like I'm thinking of the Matrix. Whenever they were actually into the Matrix, whatever, if they died while they were in there, they could also die, as well. So yeah, that would suck if you were inside a video game or in a horror movie, and if you died in there, you really died in real life. That would definitely be. Um, I guarantee there are people that still would do it just because they love the risk of it. But yeah, that would
But that would
definitely suck.
also be a really good movie. Well, they kind of did that. They kind of did that with there's the Final Girls movie where they were stuck inside
Yes.
the movie, and I guess
Yes,
if you
yes.
died in the movie or whatever you're stuck in, then you actually died in real life. I
Oh
think.
yeah.
Did
I
they?
think I think
I
I
don't
think
know.
maybe possibly that's something we might have to look into actually.
It's one of my favorites. Like I'm probably gonna do it as one of my podcasts at some point because I absolutely adore that movie. But yeah, I think that's true. I think that's how they did it because it's been a while since I watched it. But I
Yeah.
think like the guy, I remember the guy teasing the person and the killer, and the killer was like confused, like, wait, it's not supposed to happen. Who are you? Kind of thing. And but he kills him anyway because like but yeah, I'd be scared to death of actually being caught in a trying to actually survive a horror film.
Oh yeah. Especially
Um
against Jason.
against oh yeah, like you don't know when he's gonna pop up or
Oh
whatever,
yeah.
and that was the thing with the werewolf. To go back to where is like
Oh
he
yeah.
popped up at places and you're like, whoa, I was not expecting that.
No,
Um
because like in the barn, for instance, like that, there were several times in there when she was in there that when he didn't pop up, I was half expecting him to. And
mhm.
but then just like that, there he is.
And that's how they get you. That's how they, it should be like a lot of people probably get to a point right now where they've watched enough of these movies where they're like, it's not going to be now. It's not going to be now, right? They can predict it, but I like shutting my brain off and not trying to predict things
Yes.
because otherwise it just takes the fun out of it if you just are predicting everything.
It does. It does. It kind of I like kind of going back to that mentality of when you were first watching a horror film as a kid and you weren't expecting stuff and there was a jump scare and it like begged you to jump out of your seat. I love when I can watch a film and I have that effect because it just kind of just I enjoy it more when I'm not expecting it.
Exactly. No, I agree with you 100%. I think I enjoy it when I can shut my brain off. I think that's why I like films, period. Cuz I can
Yeah.
just shut my brain off and my brain can't focus a lot sometimes. So
Oh yeah.
when it's just being all it has to do is watch a movie, my ADHD is like, okay, I can handle this. Like I can just shut off and just concentrate on that. But when I watch something like where it's very awesome, there's a lot
Mhm.
going on, and there's character development. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, of course, some like we said before, some characters kind of I feel like kind of get a little bit of a side thing. Like there was was there like a love affair between two of the, like there's that little like
Yeah.
that I thought they were gonna kiss at one point, and I was just like, where did this come from? Like, I feel
Yeah.
like that was sort of weird and random, but like I get it because a lot of these movies they have to have a little bit of a romance because that blossoms, or whatever.
Oh yeah. I think yeah, there's either like a romance or there is some type of love connection, you know, whether it be a romantic or a platonic. But yeah, I always feel like in every film there's always some type of love kind of connection or love chemistry, whether like I said, either it's romantic or platonic. But yeah, I seem to notice that in a lot of films. There's just some type of something like that going on. So yeah, I guess that's kind of why they had that in there, just to kind of
Yeah.
have that.
Yeah, and well, and then they had, I mean, it was fun. It was a
Yeah.
good, it was a good movie. I'd recommend it. If you are wanting to see something fun this October and want to check something out, and you got Tubi, and I don't know if it'll still be on Tubi by October, but I'm pretty sure it will be. If
Yeah.
you're able to check it out, check it out. Let us know what you guys think. Hit the comments down below and give us a like if you enjoyed this. So Dale, how can people reach you if they want to chat with you?
Um, well, I'm on Facebook, of course. It's just Dale A Niehaus. I'm on Instagram. It's kind of a longer name. It's the motto I live by. It's helping others is the greatest.
Wait,
I just,
is that your Instagram? You said?
uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just I created that one. I mean, it's you can search me up in as Dale Niehaus, but helping others is the greatest. I created that name on the Instagram just because it's just the motto I live by. Helping others is the greatest. So those are the two main ones. I did start a TikTok. I haven't really done much with it yet, but I do
We
have it.
have one for the Echo Lake universe, and hopefully by the time this comes out, you can check that out
Oh,
more or
absolutely.
whatever. I don't know. And I'm sure you can follow Dale as well and check out. And by the time this comes out, maybe you will have, a million other, videos and everything, and you
Oh yeah.
figured it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't figured it out either, so don't feel bad.
Well, maybe by the time this comes out, we will.
It's
And
my
then of
hope.
course, oh, and then I'm also well. By the time this comes out, my IMDb will be updated. I gotta update I gotta re-subscribe to the IMDb Pro, but I do have an IMDb actually with all my credits and stuff for acting credits and everything else. And so, of course, there'll be stuff from the Echo Lake universe. There'll be more stuff on that by hopefully by October.
Including the Dark
Including
Office,
yes,
which thank you so much, and Tales from Echo Lake. Hopefully, both of them will be out in September and October. So I'll post links down below
yes,
to them so you guys can check those out. But yes, Dale was awesome. We had Dale come out for originally it was only going to be for one project, and then of course we we didn't want to lose Dale, so he said, hey, come on over for this other project, and he was very happy to do it. And
oh man, it was a blast. It was
so
a
yeah,
blast. That you guys were absolutely fun to work with. Both of them, and then the the improv that we did on the Dark Office. That was great.
you and Stro, man, which is funny because
Stroke.
Stro just did a 31 days of indie horror right before you. So
Really?
it'll be the one right before you. So I think it's really funny. I think we forgot to mention the Dark Office, which oops.
That's okay. It's all right. We mentioned it in this one, so it's okay.
I'll try to get Lydia on the show too, and then
Oh my God. Oh
make
yeah, you'll
she
have to.
hates B movies, so like well, I meant doesn't hate, I don't think, but she doesn't watch them,
Yeah, well, and this might give her a challenge to maybe sit down and watch one. I mean,
I'll
could
have
be.
to find one that she can actually sit through and not like bang her head against the wall or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And of course, she can talk about the because I think by the time this comes out or whenever she does hers, then the one project she's working on now should be done, or maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
It should be at least in the editing stages, or whatever.
The because that's what the House that Eats Flesh. I think is the one
Yeah.
that's just yeah. That one should be hopefully in the editing phase by the time this comes out.
And hopefully you guys will be getting ready to do the other one you guys are doing. Aren't you doing another movie together? STZ or something?
That I believe August is the dates we're doing that one. I believe right now. So hopefully that'll be in August. We'll be doing that one. So hopefully we'll be done filming that by the time this comes out. So
Exactly. See, you got a lot. You got a lot already like in the works.
Yeah.
So that's great. Keep up the hard work, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
We're gonna keep working with you because we did enjoy working with you as much as you enjoyed working with us.
Absolutely.
It was a fun project, a little chaotic, which hopefully the next one won't be. But I think it always is in some way or another.
Oh yeah.
There's sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. But you and Stro were just hilarious and had a lot of fun. And were you guys the ones? Wait, no, you guys weren't.
What's that?
I think it was Cody and Alice, who I interviewed recently, but they they kept coming in the bathroom, coming out, and coming in and out. So they broke the bathroom door, and the actual doors, which is fine because we got it all fixed. But
oh, that's good.
Yeah, it wasn't their fault. Like we literally told them to do it, so it was our fault. But goodness gracious, St. Paul's face,
Oh my God, yeah.
I'll have to get you on the show for like Indie Corner Radio at some point. I think we've talked about that and talk about your acting career some more.
Yes, absolutely.
But thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed this movie and had a good time. Everybody check out his TikTok. That sounded really weird.
Oh, and the TikTok, which I guess I could say what my TikTok is. It's something. It is actually, and I'm horrible. I have to look this up. Yeah, it's my TikTok is Mystical Dale.
Mystical Dale.
Yeah.
Are you a psychic on the show or on the TikTok?
No. It's actually I did a picture where I'm like wearing like these gauntlets and kind of like this and have like a staff right here.
Yeah.
So it was just something creative. I'm like, Mystical Dale. Why not?
I'm serious. Like you should do like readings,
For I don't. I can't. I can't. I'm not a psychic, but that would be interesting to do a reading.
Those things are all fake. Like the not the psychics aren't fake.
No.
But I'm saying like the TikTok's fake. It's
oh well, yeah.
You can do fake psychic readings.
Oh yeah. Just do something really like cheesy, like do like a reading, like got your card right here, and then it's actually like a menu to a Chinese restaurant or something.
See, there you go. You're thinking.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, thank you, Dale. It was a pleasure having you on the show, and I'm glad you enjoyed the movie just as much as I did. I'm glad. I mean, so far there's been a lot that I've actually liked so far this. So Tubi, thank you, because so far that's all we've done is Tubi movies, and so thank you so much for having actual good horror films out there.
Yes, thank you.
So check us out. And check out sickflickproductions.com, indiefilmcafe.reviews, indiefilmcafe.podbean.com, and patreon.com/indiefilmcafe. If you want to throw us a buck, that really goes a long way and helps out the show and is able to let us, keep the lights on and everything. So thank you guys. And hope you enjoyed the show. Bye.